Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dirty Dave's Garage. Today we're going to talk a little bit about building wealth in your garage. Now, what I mean by that, I read a book a while back, and I'll show it to you. It's called The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. Hopefully you can see that. If I remember, I'll put my affiliate link for it down in the details below the video. But basically, he gives you a real common sense plan on how to get your finances in order and start building wealth instead of wasting money. Basically, how to get out of credit card debt, how to stay out of car payments, things like that. Part of his mantra, and you'll hear him repeat it throughout in the book several times, is in order to live like nobody else, you have to be willing to live like nobody else. And one of the things he means by that is, you do without certain things. And one of them is you don't have the fanciest, newest car that's out. Your friends might be driving around flashy cars, living in a big fancy house. That's all well and good. They're probably up to their necks in debt. His basic premise is get all your credit cards paid off and you pay cash for any car you buy. And you might have to start off with one that's kind of crappy, but while you're saving that money, that car payment every month, you're building up money to buy a better car down the road. And just to give you an example, I did some quick calculations. Let's say you had $1,000 in the bank. Let's say we were in good shape. You had your bills paid off. You had $1,000 in the bank, and you took $400 a month, and you invested it in a mutual fund. You go to a financial firm and talk to them about how to open up a mutual fund. It's basically a fund that has a bunch of stocks in it, so you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. Even an average fund, you should be able to get 5% return. Most of them average 7 to 8% return. Right now, they're killing them. Some of them are giving as much as 30% right now, return on your investment. But it fluctuates. It goes up and down. But let's just say you average 5% on this $400 a month you're setting aside. In 10 years' time, you'll have saved $63,759. 10 years. It's not a very long time, and for some people it might sound like a lot, but it's not. If you had a 7% return on your investment, you'd have $71,243.58. So it adds up quick. Now, some of that you could be putting in your 401 maybe, if you have a 401 plan at work. If not, start an IRA, something like that. But I don't want to get too far off topic. What I'm getting at is, don't have a car payment. Don't worry about having the biggest, flashiest car. It's not important. The important thing is you can get to your job, with reasonable comfort and some hopefully reliable transportation. So basically, when I talk about building wealth in your garage, sure, if you got a big garage, like I do with the lift and all, maybe you can make some spare money working on friends' cars. I don't do any of that. I only work on my own, but I have a lot of cars. My kids have cars. I've got a couple cars, got a motorcycle. But I try to do everything I can myself and not pay somebody else to do it. But I also don't have a car payment on any of them. I don't owe anything on any of these cars. And I'm going to try to make another video after this one, and if I remember, I'll put the link at the end about some tips on looking for a used car, how to find something decent. But going back quite a few years when I was a younger man, I started off doing some basic maintenance on my vehicles. I did my own oil changes. That's kind of how I got started. Had a cheap at the time, $20 Kmart socket set. That was all I had. And I got a set of car ramps, and that's a good way for anybody to start. If you want to start working on your own car, especially if you have an older car, you're going to have to do some repairs and some maintenance. YouTube is your friend. There's a million videos out there how to do things. If you know you're going to change your oil or you're going to change your brakes, find some videos specific to your car if you can, and watch those. There's probably going to be more than one. I'd watch as many as you can. Set yourself up, a week before you're going to do it, and get yourself educated, because you'll learn little tips from everybody that does it. Some of them will do some things wrong. I'm not perfect. I have to learn as I go sometimes. I make mistakes and try to learn from it. But, you know, you start off simple, doing oil changes. You know, you don't need a garage. You can do them in your driveway or out in front of your apartment, whatever. As long as you got a set of ramps to get your car up off the ground and a basic set of, you know, good, decent sockets, you can do an oil change. Get yourself one of those those drain containers from the auto parts store where you get your old oil in it, put a cap on it, take it to the oil recycle when you're done. But you know, you can go to some of these cheap places that offer you the $20 oil changes, but I'll warn you now, they aren't using top quality oil, and they're definitely not using top quality oil filters for your car. And the main reason they do that and they offer it so cheap is because they get you in there and then they tell you there's 20 other things wrong with your car. Especially for you ladies, you know, that go in. I've seen this happen when I was in some of these places getting tires put on. That's one thing I can't do. I don't have a machine to put tires on a rim for me. But, you know, sitting in there waiting at one of these, you know, national chains that does tires and oil changes and all that stuff. And they came out, this lady was sitting in the waiting room with me, reading her off a grocery list of things, telling her she needed to do, trying to scare her, using scare tactics. Yeah, this front end part, it's going to go and it could cause an accident. I didn't buy all the BS the guy was telling her. They're trying to make sales. You know, they're in the business to make money. Problem is, you know, she had no clue. She was smart enough to decline and say, well, I don't have the money for it right now. But it's nice to, you know, working on your own car, yeah, it's dirty. You know, you get dirty doing it, but you learn a lot. And you're not going to get taken advantage of. You know, the longer you do it and the more you do it, as you build a knowledge of how the things work in your car, you gain a better understanding of what's really required to keep your car safe, keep your car reliable, and provide you years of service. So again, get yourself a cheap set of sockets. You know, get yourself a Haynes manual or a Chilton's manual, or even if you can afford it, you can go on eBay. You can buy an actual service manual, but sometimes they're a little cryptic to understand. Never hurts to have one. It's $20 for most of them. It's money well spent. Other things to think about. You know, if you do have an older car, when it's time for tires, you know, look on Craigslist. You can find darn near brand new sets of tires on Craigslist for half of what a set's going to cost you. And it's just take them somewhere and get them put on, because so many people buy brand new cars and a month later they want mag wheels on it, or they want to get fancy wheels or high performance tires. So they take the rim and the tire and everything off and they throw it up on Craigslist for like half of what it's worth. In fact, some of you may have seen some of my Jeep videos for the Cherokee I have. My daughter's driving it now. Well, before she started driving it, I took the big off-road tires off, and I wanted to find a set of wheels and rims, tires and rims that were closer to factory. So I started looking. It took me a few weeks. Finally, I saw an ad pop up on Craigslist not far from my house. I got a set of 4 Michelin ATX, real nice all-terrain tires for the Jeep on original Jeep rims, nice rims, for $300 for everything. You couldn't even get 2 of those tires for that. And I got 4 tires and 4 rims just because I was patient and I kept watching Craigslist whenever the size I needed popped up. And Jeeps are especially easy to find tires and wheels for, because everybody that buys them always puts something bigger on. But same goes with other cars too. You know, you can find these things on Craigslist and save a bundle. You know, if you just get the tires, somebody got their tires replaced, you know, and they got good tread, you can pick up a tread depth gauge at a parts store for like $2, and you know, check them, make sure they got plenty of tread on them. You're going to be able to tell most of the time by looking at them, you know, if they're decent or not. But again, you're saving. You could save tons of money doing that. $500,000 is not, you know, out of the question of savings when it's time to get the tires. So keep that in mind. Remember, YouTube is your friend. You need to do something to your car, start it off. If you've never done stuff on your car before, easy things, changing your oil filter, changing your air filter, get all that stuff at Walmart or the local parts store. You know, as you get more confident in your abilities, You know, maybe you go on to doing your own brakes, putting new brake pads on, or new pads and rotors. When I do brakes, I usually just replace everything because it's so cheap when you do it yourself. But and then I don't have to worry about my rotors being out of round or whatever, or warped. I just put brand new ones on, not a problem. But changing your other fluids on a regular basis, you know, get yourself a turkey baster. Suck the brake fluid out every couple of years out of your master cylinder. Just don't suck it completely dry. Put some fresh brake cylinder brake fluid in. You know, just make sure you get the right kind. It tells you right on the lid what kind to use. But you know, do these things and stay out of a car payment and put that money aside. Just save it. You know, max out your 401 if you got one instead of taking on a big car payment, and live within your means. You know, you don't need the biggest house, you don't need the fanciest, fastest car. Somebody's always got one better and faster, so keep that in mind. You just need to be able to live comfortably, get to work in some reliable transportation. So again, I'm going to try to put another video together in the next couple days about things to look for in a used car, or how to find good deals on used cars. And when I get that, I'll put the link to that in this video so you can take a look at that. Good luck with your wrenching. Be safe. And save your money. Put it in the bank. Put it in a mutual fund. Build your wealth right in your garage. Till next time, it's Dirty Dave. See ya.